baby.
Second topic of the day. So we are going to talk a little bit about Jasmine Crockett, a rising star in the Democratic Party, Congresswoman from Texas. And recently she sat down for a discussion with Aaron Haynes. And during this discussion, she talked about the Democrats' failure to stand up to the Republican propaganda, specifically around immigrants and trans people. And she really focused on trans kids, but really trans people in general. So let's take a quick look at this clip and I'll react and share some thoughts.
The amount of hate that I get, I'm like, people, I ain't never met you. Like, stop. Just stop. Stop. I don't even know you exist, okay? Like, just stop. Like, I don't know how I done made you so mad. And I ain't even doing that to you. Just existing makes you so mad. We need to heal this country. And we really need to get back to basics. We need to focus on the people and what is impacting them. And in this election, we allowed ourselves to be divided. That's one of the things that I tell people. We allowed them to distract us. And we allowed them to talk about the trans folk. And the trans folk, it's really them trans kids, y'all. According to them, the trans kids that want to play the sports, Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. Like, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And here's the deal. I would tell people all the time when I was on the trail, because I would tell them a few things. I would talk about my trans kids. Then I would talk about the immigrants, right?
Right. So, yeah, I think the biggest and, most prescient point that was made is that we need to go back to basics and remember that real people are being impacted by the things that are being done. It feels like at times that people think that we live in some kind of simulation or video game and that like this shit is just a joke, but it's real life. It has real consequences. Real people are impacted. And, I think reminding people of humanity is important, even if, at first try people don't receive it. So after 47 signed the executive order banning trans athletes from competing in sports, like we understand their whole thing. The most disappointing thing to me, though, is the response from so-called liberals, specifically people like Gavin Newsom, James Carville, that's how you pronounce his name, and others who were seemingly willing to just throw trans folks under the bus to try to win points with the right. And I don't understand what the end goal is there because these people haven't given any reason to think that they're going to be changing their mind about certain things anytime soon. So I don't know why that was conceived as something that might work or be beneficial to anybody. And it's also frustrating because I cannot stand when it's especially two straight white men sitting in a room talking about a community that they are not a part of and talking about fairness and this, that, and the third. It's like, shut the fuck up, right? Like, shut up. Like, if you're going to talk about somebody else's life or how they do this or that activity, like, let them be in the room to speak for themselves. Don't just make all these hypotheticals and, to try to wax poetic about, it's about fairness and also, like, all that does nothing for anybody and really ultimately hurts trans people. Something else that's really frustrating me with this whole discourse that is kind of alluded to in Congresswoman Crockett's speech, but in that people are actually being impacted by this. A fact that a lot of people I'm sure don't know. In 2025 alone, it's April 2nd. So far this year, 5 trans people have been killed. And that's just what has been reported. We know that this number could be a lot higher because trans people are often misgendered by family, by the police, by media. So this number could be even higher, but there are 5 that we know of. And in some of these cases, torture has been a means of murder. So when these discussions are being had and, people are just throwing out slurs and not, paying attention to like what's actually real and who's actually being impacted and like caring about facts and, just moving off feelings, real people end up being impacted by that. So it's something that I think we all need to reflect on, not only with trans folks, with all LGBTQ plus folks, with all immigrants, with all marginalized people, because anytime there's a targeted attack against one group, you can pretty much be certain that eventually you are going to be the target of some form of an attack. So it is in everybody's best interest to support trans folks, support immigrants, uplift the marginalized, lift people up. I don't understand why people are just so committed to seeing people fail and just suffer. Something's got to shift, and hopefully this insight kind of plants some kind of a seed in you if you have some of these negative feelings or thoughts. Let's move on.